My apologies for any and all out-of-frame moments. I wasn't trying to keep any secrets to myself, and I readily admit I fiddled and fumbled throughout, because that can't be hidden no matter how aggressive the editing. I'm going to try to keep this voiceover to the point, since it may be helpful to hear the reasoning behind some of my choices. And I'll forgive you for imagining quotes around the word reasoning. Producer Mike went ahead and got me this large-size Meeden palette. It's the one that can hold 48 half pans or 24 full pans. And that's good, because I was less than happy with my previous choice. I missed the substance of this design. I know I had crossed it off due to size concerns, but I have found a solution. More about that later on. It came with 24 full pans, which appear to be sturdier than the ones I had. But since some of the old ones were filled, I went ahead and used the rest of those. These new ones can be for a future palette. The plan here was to combine M. Graham and Daniel Smith with some empties to fill in later on. Daniel Smith on the bottom 2 rows, M. Graham on the top 2. The magnets were easy to remove from the bottom of the pans. For those who were wondering, magnets? What magnets? I've got enough to cover here, so check out the videos where I pour and swatch M. Graham and Daniel Smith. I'll add the links in the description. My only real issue with the type of tin I was using there is that there's always going to be unused space, at least with full pans. That and the magnets don't adhere strongly to the pans. Both of those issues have workarounds, so they aren't deal breakers. Those palettes just aren't for me. I don't want to spend my time cutting up kitchen sponges or hot gluing magnets. For those unfamiliar with this type of tin, there are 4 rows or tracks. Each track has a short divider side and a tall tab side. The tabs have a rolled edge that keeps the pans from falling out. Before removing pans, you can push the tabs slightly outward for easy extraction. But before adding pans, you should push them slightly inward. Simply insert the pan short side first and press down until it snaps under the rolled edge. With Daniel Smith in, I moved on to M. Graham. The barest research will reveal the fact that M. Graham uses honey in their formula. It's even right on the front of their boxed sets. So you may have already guessed that handling these pans got messy. I had to wipe my fingers off multiple times. Whoever said arting was a glamour job never had to remove paint from their nose hairs. Don't ask.
Oh, I knew you would call back. You must be missing me so bad. When you left, you said that I don't deserve you, but I can see that you don't wanna lose what we had. Oh, you're the one that I need. Let's just take it slow and just breathe. Loving someone is not easy, you know, but it makes us feel alive, so we go with the flow. Just love me harder, have no mercy on me, just tell me louder. If you're loving me, just love me mercy on me. Tell me louder if you're loving me. Can I tell you what I want? Can I tell you what I need? Can I tell you what I want? Can I tell you what I need? Just love me harder, have no mercy on me. Just tell me louder if you're loving me. Just love me harder, have no mercy on me. Tell me louder if you're loving me.
You'll notice that although you get 24 full pans, the tin can accommodate 28. So I maximized that puppy. Why don't they just include 28 pans? Good question. I learned this next bit from watching the Emily Artful channel. Since I don't need the extra mixing area, I used pliers to remove the pin holding it in place. That still leaves the lid for mixing, but I'll probably just remove the pan tray, which I can either hold in my hand or lay on the desk, taking up much less surface space than the entire tin with lid and tray attached. Fearing that removal of the extra tray might affect the closing of the tin, I tested it out and nope, it's all good. So after all that, guess what I decided to do? That's right, I decided to add a third brand to the mix by filling the empties with my favorite Holbein colors, therefore making a complete palette right from the get-go. Kinda wish I'd thought of it beforehand. So out with the pans I just put in and more sticky fingers. I was hesitant to do this mixed brand thing, and that's mostly to do with my declining mental faculties. Keeping track of multiple brands and their varying characteristics within one palette, that seemed like an unnecessary setup for potential confusion. So, we'll see if I was underestimating myself then or overestimating myself now. I want to talk about the color pearl beige, mostly because it's not pearly, nor is it beigey. It's not in the palette, it's on my nails. I suppose by pearl they meant shimmery, but in no way, shape, or form is that beige. It's pink. P-I-N-K. Pink. It's possible that I've been spending way too much time thinking about colors. Normally, I shrug at these things. So if I do end up seeking therapy, you can bet that clean color nail lacquer was a contributing factor. So don't blame social distancing. Blame pearl beige. I like to have my browns next to the oranges. And I realize that some of those reds look redundant. I do plan to remove a couple of colors once I get others to replace them.
If it's love that you need, you can't take it from me, 'cause I'm the one who's giving it up. And I know it's been hard, but you've made it this far. No, I'm the one who's giving it up.
I was super happy to add Holbein's Mineral Violet. For a long time, it was the only purple I had, which was rough because it's my third favorite color. I want to say it has a little more red than Daniel Smith's Carbazole Violet, but I need to see their swatches side by side to say for sure. If it turns out they're too similar, I'll have to kick Mineral Violet to the curb. More gently put, send it back to the second string lineup, which isn't all that gentler. Carbazole Violet is just too big a superstar. Blue is not a favorite of mine, but I do see the need for good representation of it. Prussian blue is my favorite sort of blue. So is indigo, which I don't have. I'd love to get it, but I kind of feel that having one makes the other unnecessary. Am I wrong? Please say I'm wrong. There's something so satisfying about emptying out a paint tube. These are 5 milliliter tubes, so quite small. Having multiple greens is important to me, since it may be my first favorite color. I wanted to include Holbein's Terre Verte, which I have, but it is somewhat opaque. I hope I can get a transparent version from another brand. By the way, I looked up how to pronounce Terre Verte for this video, and it turns out I'd been saying it wrong for years. In my head, I mean. I wasn't going around saying Terre Verte out loud, thank goodness. But now I really want to start pronouncing pervert as pervert in conversation. There will be a separate video for the swatch card, but for now, you can probably read the notes on the graph paper if you're dying to know which ultramarine I went with.
Oh, I knew you would call back. You must be missing me so bad. When you left, you said that I don't deserve you, but I can see that you don't wanna lose what we had. Oh, you're the one that I need. Let's just take it slow and just breathe. Loving someone is not easy, you know, but it makes us feel alive, so we go with the flow. Just love me harder, have no mercy on me, just tell me louder. If you're loving me, just love me harder, have no mercy on me, tell me louder. If you're loving me. Can I tell you what I want? Can I tell you what I need? Can I tell you what I want? Can I tell you what I need? Just love me harder, have no mercy on me, just tell me.
The last two pans are my neutrals, Sepia and Payne's Gray. Those two were covered in previous videos of their own, because they are that good. As my longest to date, this is a sort of mega video. Hopefully it was helpful in some way, and if not, at least the next one will be less talking and more swatching. A big thanks to all who have liked, shared, subscribed, or commented. It motivates me. sort of like caffeine for creativity. Plus, it tells YouTube I'm doing something right. I'm happy to share this chatty Cathy edition of Inkworks. Until next time, stay artsy, my friends.